All right, and welcome back, guys. In today's video, we're going to go over every single map currently in Cold War Zombies, and I'm going to show you the best spots to grind the Dark Aether Camo on those maps. I know I uploaded a video like this when Malward or Toten launched. However, since then, they've nerfed some of those strategies. They no longer work the same, so we're going to refresh the whole series, and I'm going to show you the best spots on all the maps currently in the game. Now, with this guide, I'm going to be breaking down into two different types of strategies. We're going to have camping strategies, and we're also going to have training strategies. If you're using any sort of full auto weapon, you know, like an AR, SMG, LMG, tac rifle, anything like that, I am going to recommend you use the camping strategy. But if you're using like a rocket launcher or a sniper or any other weapon you're struggling with, you might want to go over and switch to one of the training strategies. But with that, let me go ahead and start loading into game. While I'm doing that, if you're new here, want to sub, I would greatly appreciate that. We're getting closer to our goal of 175,000 subs, and on top of that, I got to give a massive thanks to everyone who's going to like, comment, and watch this video in its entirety. Those three things help me and my channel out greatly. All right, so starting off with Machina, the OG map in Cold War. You guys already know what the first spot's going to be. It's definitely going to be Penthouse 1 because it takes 2 doors to open from spawn, so you can get in this spot right off the bat, and it's still the fastest spot. If you're trying to get the Dark Aether Camo as quick as possible, this spot will get you more kills and more headshots with your weapon than any spot in the entire game. Even after all this time, this spot's still unbeatable. There are easier spots to do on Firebase E and Malward. We're going to show spots that are probably a little bit easier, especially if you're playing solo. But if you want pure speed, Penthouse is still king. Nothing compares to the amount of kills you can get per minute. And if you're just trying to get Dark Aether as quick as possible, this is the single best spot. All right, now we're going to move on to the training spots. There's really only one camping spot on this map because nothing competes with that right there. So obviously the very first one is going to be the yard. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend training while going for Dark Aether, but in Cold War, training's a lot easier than camping. So while you're using the harder weapons, you might want to resort to training. But if you are able to camp the entire time, I'd highly recommend it. It's just a little bit harder. But it's so easy to train in yard. It's super simplistic. You don't even have to follow any route. I mean, just walk in this general area. The zombies are going to horde up, shoot the zombies. But like I said, unless you're using a sniper, I would recommend just kind of sticking with the camping strategy. Now, we actually have one more training spot on Machina. It's going to be down here in the power room. This is the better training spot if you kind of got the hang of it. This one's a little bit faster spawn rates. It's going to get you more headshots, although it's going to be a little bit more chaotic. This is actually the training spot that I use to get pretty much all of my weapons gold. At the time, I didn't know about Penthouse. When the game first launched, I spent, you know, the first 2 weeks we spent this area before, you know, people started discovering Penthouse. And if it was discovered before that, I wasn't paying attention. And I trained down here to get pretty much all the base weapons gold. Super simplistic. All you're going to do is run around. The zombies are going to follow behind you. And the best part about this area is it's flat ground. So not only are the spawns faster than yard, all the zombies' heads are going to be at the exact same height. Whereas in yard, they're all different levels. So sometimes you got to adjust your aim with that. Super simplistic, really easy. It is a little bit harder because the training's a little bit more tight than what it is at yard. But you'll probably get the hang of it after doing it a few tries. So this is my personal recommendation for training here. Alrighty, now here we are on Firebase E, and we're going to go ahead and head to the one strat that I'm pretty sure all of you guys already know is going to be the first camping strat on this map. It is one of the most probably used strats, I think, today for grinding the Dark Aether Camo. I'm going to show you how to get here from spawn, just in case you don't know how. However, if you've grinded any gold guns in Cold War, you probably know this spot. This isn't the fastest spot. Actually, this is the slowest camping spot we're going to show in this entire video today. But it is the single most popular one because it is super simple. If you're just looking for a chill, casual grind, this is probably the best camping spot for you because all you do is sit right here. All the zombies funnel up and get you headshots. Unfortunately, it isn't the fastest. Like I was saying, out of all the camping spots we're going to show in this video today, this is the single slowest spot. So if you're doing all of them optimally, this is going to have you getting, you know, the Dark Aether Camo the slowest. But this one's super simple. You can pull up something on the side monitor, watch Netflix, and just absolutely grind. And if you're using snipers, this one's actually pretty easy for using snipers as well. All you want to do is run Toxic Growth, put like 2 of them there, 1 of them down that pathway, and you can actually grind snipers in this spot, which if you try grinding snipers solo on Penthouse, you're not going to have a good time. Now, there actually is one more camping spot on this map, and it's one that I used when Firebase E first came out. I'm going to include it for, you know, completionist sake, but I really don't recommend it. It's going to be here in Weapons Lab, and you've probably seen a lot of people grind to high rounds using this. This is faster spawns than Colonel's Office, which we were just in. However, you can see here, zombies aren't on even ground. You kind of got to wait for them, so it's not going to be as easy for headshots because you're constantly going to have to be adjusting your aim. And on top of that, it's a lot more risky. And if you're using a strat like this where it's super risky, honestly, you're better off just playing Malward or Toten or Machina at that point, because this one is yeah, it's quicker than Colonel's Office, but there's so much risk involved. You're better off just playing another map entirely. Now from here, let me go ahead and show you the training spots on this map. Whew, I can't believe we got out of there without going down. So right here, everyone knows helipad. This is a super simplistic training spot. I mean, you really just run around the helicopter, and if need be, you can just jump up here for a second and the zombies will take a second to get up, and you can kind of reevaluate the train. However, if you're playing Firebase E, I really don't recommend training on this map. The Colonel's Office that we showed a second ago is so simplistic that even if you're using snipers, you should be able to live. Like, you're not going to really have an issue. And there's better maps to train if you're going to train to grind Dark Aether. And one more thing to mention, I know a lot of people like training in Spawn as well. I usually trained at helipad, but Spawn's another super simplistic spot to train at. I mean, it's nice, wide and open here. But like I said, if you're playing Firebase E, just use Colonel's Office pretty much regardless of what you're doing. And now here we are in Outbreak. What you want to do for this strategy is just go to quit match and you want to leave the match. In all honesty, there's no really good spots for grinding kills on Outbreak. The only thing it's really good for is leveling up like weapon levels on snipers. But even, you know, doing objectives and stuff, you're not going to get near as many headshots or any sort of, you know, camo challenge done on Outbreak as you will for round-based maps. So even if Outbreak is your main game mode, I would just recommend playing one of the round-based maps. It's doable, but it's pretty simplistic. If you are going to grind something on Outbreak, just go for the objectives and, you know, shoot zombies in the head. There's no real camping strategy because zombies don't infinitely spawn in any one single spot. Now for Malward or Toten, and this is kind of an in-between between Firebase E and Machina. Machina is really fast. It's definitely got the fastest camo spawns. Firebase E is good because you get elites there, but it's a lot slower. This is kind of not as fast as Machina, but it's a lot quicker than what you would see on Firebase E, and it does have elite spawn. So it is like an in-between between the two, but it's nowhere near as safe as Firebase E. Our first spot's right here. This is a really simplistic spot, and this is kind of what I've been using recently for going to high rounds. Not for high rounds, what I've been going for camo grinding. As long as you got a ring of fire, you're pretty much perfectly safe. You might have to buy a flamethrower or a war machine. So when you, on higher rounds, when you run out of your ring of fire, you're able to use the flamethrower, get it back real quick, and then immediately get back in the spawn. If you do at any point get overran, you can just rappel down and you're perfectly fine. And then you can rappel back up. On top of that, there's also an armor stand over there, and then you can buy another flamethrower over here in this corner if need be, and you can rappel right back up. So let's say you want to buy a new flamethrower, get that, come back up here, and then from here you can go across and get right back into the spawn, and it makes it super simplistic, and it's definitely faster than Colonel's Office on Firebase E. It's a little bit more risky, and you are going to have to get some kills with the flamethrower as you progress to higher rounds, but I overall prefer this spot. Now from here we can go ahead and head to our second camping spot, and this was the only spot that I really recommended in my last video, mainly because it had really fast spawns, but this is the spot that got nerfed. And honestly, after nerf, it's not really worth it too much anymore. It's good for lower rounds, but higher rounds, it gets super annoying. What you want to do is sit right here and shoot zombies as they come. All flat grounds, they're all going to be crit kills. But zombies spawn behind here now, which they didn't used to, but now that they do, especially as you get to higher rounds, it's going to be annoying. Obviously, you can run Toxic Growth and put Toxic Growth here, but grinding camos, you really want to be running Ring of Fire. There's really no advantage for running Toxic Growth unless you're going for snipers where you're not going to get that massive increase. So this spot's still available, and it's like what I would use this spot for is on lower rounds while you're building up points and whatnot. Instead of going to one of those spots, sit here. That way you can buy your perks because you've got the Wonder Fizz machine right here, and on top of that, Pack-a-Punch is right here. So it's in a nice central location. Now for our third camping spot, and this is a spot you've probably seen once again a lot of people using for high rounds. This spot is the best high rounding spot, but you can also use it to grind the Dark Aether Camo as well. Want to come in here, however, for this power room strat, this door cannot be opened. If that door has been opened, you're not going to be able to do it, and you're going to have to rely on one of the other strats. All you want to do is sit back here and kill zombies. Well, we got a nuke, so that doesn't help us out. But you're going to kill zombies as they come in. It's a little bit more annoying than their spots because you have two different directions. You're going to have to shoot zombies from this way and this way, and they can come from this angle as well too. So you're going to be doing a lot more active shooting instead of just looking down sight. And the best part about it is occasionally on higher rounds, you will have to rely on a flamethrower and a war machine to be able to build your Ring of Fire back up. But you've got a crafting table right here, so you can within seconds just buy it back and be perfectly fine. There is one training spot on this map, but just like Firebase E, honestly, these spots are so simplistic. I really wouldn't recommend a training strat. You can probably camp the entire time without any issues getting your headshots. But on this map for training spot, the only spot I'm going to recommend here is around this tank. Super simplistic spot. And on top of that, you got tons of resources around you. You got the Wonder Fizz machine there. You got the Pack-a-Punch machine here. And then you got the crafting table up there. But yeah, guys, that's really going to be it for all the spots on all of the maps right now. Obviously, we still got one more map coming out. So who knows if that map's going to kind of change the meta when it comes to these spots. Overall, my most recommended spot would be the penthouse on D Machina. That spot's still just completely king. The only reason I wouldn't use that spot is if you also need elite kills. Unfortunately, on D Machina, you don't get a lot of elite spawns, which kind of causes issues because you do have a camo challenge that requires elite kills. So if you need elite kills, play this map once and then make your way over to D Machina once that's done. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. Let me know if I missed any spots that you use. I know there is the Wonder Fizz spot up here, but I don't know. I haven't found that spot as useful as the ones we've listed, but there's definitely some that I've missed. If I've missed any important spots, leave them in the comments below. That way, if people are looking for additional spots, they can find them down there. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Real quick here at the end of the video, I want to thank everyone who's became a YouTube sub or a Twitch subscriber, and extra special thanks to everyone who became an Unlock Plus member on YouTube. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Cryptic. We've got Hunter Reed Don Doe. We've got the man whose name should be really easy to pronounce, Yamasta. We've got the legend Sergeant CJ, the ETOL lawyer you don't cross Host. We've got the friend who always comes through, Drew, the DMCA claim waiting to happen, Snap, and then we've got Luke.